Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. Today I'm bringing to you another video in the pros and cons series. So today we'll be discussing some of the pros and cons of annotating books. Okay, when I asked for what video I wanted next in the pros and cons series, one of my favorite subscribers, you asked me to make a video on the pros and cons of annotating, so I'm here with this. And if you want any more specific videos related to the pros and cons series, do let me know in the comments below. The playlist is linked in the I button and also down in the description. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Starting with the pros, the first most important pro which I consider when it comes to annotating books is that annotating helps you to keep track of what you're reading in a book. Okay, especially when it comes to a series as a whole or non-fiction books. What happens sometimes is we read a lot of stuff and we are not able to sum up everything and store them in our mind so that it can be helpful for continuing with the reading in the book. I am the type of person who actually doesn't end up reading the entire book once I start reading it. It's not possible for me to read every book that I start continuously. So what I do is, some books I just finish them within few hours, and there are yet other books which take me like months to complete. At that times annotating helps me to keep track of what I'm reading, because it just helps me to put stuff together so that it can be easily recalled by me while I'm picking up the book again after a long time. The next important pro when it comes to annotating is that it helps you remember stuff very easily. Okay, one of the things which I struggle with when I'm reading a lot of books at the same time is that there are certain specific points of the story which I might forget while I'm bouncing between books, and this happens many times. Usually I don't forget stuff that easily, but there are certain crucial details which I tend to forget while I'm reading due to the fact that I'm reading a lot more. One thing which I noticed while reading City of Ashes is that I'm actually reading the series. You know that already if you're following me. And while I read this one, I was able to remember like most of the stuff that was going on in the book. Yet I just went up and summarized each and every chapter and annotated it. But when I came to City of Ashes, what happened was that I was like totally confused to remember any stuff. By reaching the half of the book, I was sure that I'm remembering all the stuff that I've read. But the second half of the book, it was just like I was reading it for the first time, because more than 50% of the second half was not at all in my memory. It was not there in the show also, so it might have been an influence in my mind. I forgot like most of the story in the second book, and annotating helped me a lot. Now I'm sure that I'll not be forgetting certain instances which are very much important when it comes to City of Ashes and City of Wounds, because of the fact that I annotated them. So remembering stuff, it can be very well easily done by using annotating. So if you are a person who's struggling to remember stuff while reading a lot of books, then please do try annotating, because it helps a lot. The next pro is something which I noticed as a very big good thing when it comes to annotating, is that it helps me review stuff, especially after coming into YouTube, because I used to review stuff to random people. Okay, when my friends or people whom I know, they know that I read a lot, so sometimes while they want to know certain things about a book, they ask me, and I just try to give them an idea of what the book is about. But after getting into BookTube, I was sure that this is not something that people are asking me to do. I'm just doing it on my own, so it must be done in a structured way. So I started annotating books which I was sure that I was going to review. An example for that one is Life of Pi. Before starting to read this book itself, I was sure that I was going to review this, and that fact helped me to annotate the book a lot. And also, while writing the script for this book's review, I made like multiple references from the annotations and notes that I made while reading the book. Okay, it does take a little bit of time, but I'm sure that if you're a reviewer and if you want to present your work in a proper way such that it looks authentic and original as well as different from other people's, then you can try annotating, because it will help you in reviewing your books or just products in general in a very good way. And I think that annotating helps from a review point of view rather than any other process that you can say. And I consider annotating as a tool rather than just something I do when it comes to reading as well as reviewing books. The next pro is that annotations help you to know your first interpretation of the book as well as the first impression of the book in your mind. I say this mainly because not everyone gets into reading books by knowing everything completely about the book. Sometimes we just jump into the book because the blurb seems interesting, or it is due to the fact that our favorite author has written that book, or it might be something intriguing about the book, about the favorite genre that we read or something like that. And what happens is that there might be multiple layers just for a single line that the author has used. That is, it might be very, very much intentional, and we might not get it on the first go. and we might plan it to reread it in the future, which I do like many times, and especially I'm doing it a lot more nowadays because it helps me get into reading a lot easier compared to any other way, and it really proves good in that way, because not every book is written in such a way that you can just read it once and get everything out of it. Some books just need rereading as like a ritual to be done, so that you can get everything that's there in the book. Especially this helps more in non-fiction books rather than in fiction books. So even though if you don't annotate your fiction books, do try annotating your non-fiction books, because they will give you a lot more compared to the way in which you read without annotating. Last pro is something which is very specific and also very much fun. This might sound a bit too much for certain people, but I enjoy this a lot, and that's why I like doing annotations. It is that annotations help you become more analytical when it comes to reading. Okay, at times what happens is a book might be so good and so big. What happens is you cannot obviously finish the entire book in a single sitting or during the time which you allocated for in a single day. So what I do during such times is, while I'm reading a chapter, if something intrigues me, okay, if I feel that a particular line has been said by the author in some specific way, if I feel that this could have been said in a different way, but there must be some reason behind writing this line in this way, what I do is I just highlight those lines and certain quotes which I think or feel that they are important for the future of the book. I just highlight them, and after highlighting, what I do is, while reaching the end of the chapter, I just give myself a little break. I just read through those highlighted parts of the text, and then I revise the chapter once in my mind. Then I write the summary. What happens is that while I'm writing summaries, I just brew up some theories in my own mind. The more times the author defies my theory, the better the book is for me always. And I've seen this in many instances, and I've not at all failed even once when it comes to theorizing certain parts of the book and then ending up in a wrong place. At that times the author has bettered me, and it's just so much fun to do. So I think increasing your analytical abilities is one of the main pros when it comes to annotating. Moving on to the cons, the first and most important con when it comes to annotating for me is that this is the main reason why I don't annotate each and every book I read. If I do that, it will be very difficult for me. That is that annotation takes a lot of time and patience. Okay, effort is okay. If you like it, you're going to put effort and it's going to be fun for you. But time and patience, these are the most basic things when it comes to annotating, if you ask me. I was in a place before that I was thinking that while during the time that I annotate 3 books, I can read like at least half of another book, which is totally true. Okay, even now, if I stop annotating and just go on reading as usual like I used to, I'd end up reading a lot more books, and it'll be not that much fun as it is right now, but it'll take a lot of time, and that is the main con when it comes to annotating, if you ask me. If you're a person who's like very stringent about your time or the way in which you consume your time, annotation is not a great thing. It is a really good thing, but it will consume a lot of time also, so also keep that in mind. The second main con is that it can make you critical way too much at times. Okay, I said that as the last pro of annotations is that they can make you a lot more analytical. What happens is, if the analytical skill goes beyond a limit, you just become a critic, and while reaching the end of the book, you just try to connect each and every dot. It's not that much necessary, okay, but I do it sometimes, especially while I'm rereading. What happens is I don't read the same story again. Okay, I know certain parts, and while I reach the end of the story, some things don't make sense, some things don't fit together, they don't fit in. Okay, it might be something with the plot or something with the characters or how the characters behave, anything like that. Or even sometimes the author just opposes the thing that they said in the first or second book in the last few books. There are multiple instances which I can quote, but that's one of the main problems when it comes to annotating, if you ask me. It's that it will make you a lot more critical than a normal reader is. The next con is that while you're reading fast-paced books, I'd prefer when I am reading fast-paced books, especially thrillers, I don't even think of annotating them, because the thing about fast-paced books is that they need to be read in that pace. Only then you'll be able to enjoy the story and the characters and the plot, everything in the way it was made. Okay, if you're reading a fast-paced story by taking multiple breaks, writing down notes, highlighting stuff, then what happens is that you just kill that pace. Okay, that pace is the thing which adds on this entire flavor to the story. And when it comes to fast-paced books, I don't annotate them at all, and I'd not suggest you also to do it because it'll just kill the pace and ruin that experience of reading a good book. The last con is also one of the reasons why I didn't do annotations for a long period in my reading life, is that it'll damage books. Okay, I'm that person who wants to keep my book as I bought it for as long as I can. Okay, even if I read it for like 100 times, I want the book to be the same of how it was while it was not read at all. And annotation doesn't help in that way, because while doing annotations itself, it's obvious you're going to alter the book in some way or the other. You're going to add something to it in some way. You're at least going to underline, highlight, put a sticky note, put on tabs, flags, something, or anything. Okay, some people even write in the margins, which I don't do, and I also not advise anyone to do, because there's already a lot of ink on the pages and we don't want to dump some more ink on them. That's the main con when it comes to annotating, because if you're a person who wants to keep your books in pristine condition like I am and I used to a while before, then I not prefer annotating at all. And that's one of the main reasons why I didn't annotate my books for a long time, because it damages them in an obvious way. Okay, that's all for today, and if you do or do not agree with any of the points I said, do let me know down in the comments below so that we can chat on this. And also, if you want any more videos in this series, please do let me know. I'll try to make them in the future as soon as possible. And that's it for today. If you did enjoy watching the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.